Good evening, my friends. That is one fine rum if you don't know it. Zacapa, try it out, it won't disappoint you. So today we are going to tie a minnow pattern using only just a few materials. So on that point it is not so difficult, it's rather the trimming of the fly that is the difficult part. The inspiration to this fly came from a guy who calls himself Nacho Heredoro. On Instagram. I will leave his account down below so you could go and check him out. There is nobody better at these patterns than him if you ask me, so let's jump down to the vise here and try our best to tie this little minnow. Okay, so I've already started my thread here on the NS122 from Arex. And the materials we are going to be using are this called sculpting flash fiber. It is kind of like poly yarn a little bit, just with a little bit of flash mixed into it. So a really nice material and pretty cheap as well. So as you can see here, it will last a long time on small flies like this. So what I like to do is to cut off a bunch here, not too much, and then fold it in half, just like this, and then snip it. Now I have two bunches, obviously. Place one on the table there, and then I kind of want to taper this out a little bit so it's not so uniform in the shape. That rum. So tail, I want just a tiny tad longer than the hook shank. So get that in on top there. Nice and tight. You want this just on the top half of the hook. Trim this off. Don't throw it away, you can use it a little later on. So secure this. A few more wraps. Then I want to grab bunch of this sculpting flash fiber in the color tan. Same thing, full length. Fold it in half. Cut that. And put that one half down on the table there. Taper this out. Pulling the fibers so they are uneven in length, and that I want just a tiny bit longer than the previous bunch. Tie that down as well. You can kind of, oh, I don't have any nails, as you guys know, but if you have nails, you can kind of push that into the fibers and kind of help them to roll around on the hook shank until you are satisfied with how it looks. That is looking pretty good to me. So that first white bunch there is just to kind of stop this tail from tangling up around the hook bend here. And this I will just flip back over on itself, tie on top of that. So now that is really nicely secured on there. You can also comb this out a little bit to help the fibers blend, like that. So grab another bunch of the tan. At this point the fly will kind of become a mess because we will be stacking these small bunches on top and on the bottom of the hook, and later on then trim them. So now don't be alarmed if the fly looks like shit. We will correct that. So a bunch on top, and this will just keep repeating itself all the way up to the hook eye there. So if you want, you can skip to the end or just hang on and enjoy your beverage. What are you guys even drinking these evenings here with me? Please feel free to answer that down in the comments, because I would love to know. And if anybody knows a good rum I most definitely should try, then write that down as well. I can really recommend this one. This is not an ad in any way, but why not share something you enjoy? Okay, so what you want to do is flip these bunches back over on themselves. That's the white one. Turn the fly back around. And then build kind of a thread bump up against the fibers here, forcing them back a little bit. Like that. Same thing again. I think I need a little bit more of the tan here. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. Snip that in half. Let's snip that in half once again. You don't need that big bunches for this job. So, tan on top, or the top half, just like so. Turn the fly over. Get a bunch on the belly there. Distribute that. Now the trick here is to not put too much material on, because you will be doubling it back over on itself, so it will give quite a chunky head if you overdo this. And I most certainly didn't do this quite as well on my first try, but learning by doing, right? So that's the white part. And again, build a bump here, forcing these fibers back, just like that. Ways to go. I don't even know if this is the right way to tie up this pattern of nachos. I tried a lot of different methods, and this was the one that worked the best. Cut that in half. Cut those two. I should have prepared this. Another bunch on the belly. You can also use, this is not a Coke tube, this is just a piece of aluminum with a hole in it. A pen, if you take a pen, it will do the same job, but it can really help you push these materials back. So as you can see, this is looking quite messy, but it will get better in just a bit, I promise. So this is just repeating itself. Cutting up a few bunches. You guys still there? Sure hope so. One important thing when you're building this this ramp or this bump in front of the thread is to kind of make a few turns up the shank and then go back, otherwise it would just be slipping down if you make all wraps in one place. So we are almost at the end here, guys. I think we're just going to put on one more bunch on the top and the bottom. Let's see how much we could get on here. Yeah, I think we can fit one more bunch in there. This is just such a nice material to work with, I think. On there. And the last one for the belly. Like that. One last push here. Might need to be a little bit careful with the tying thread here of the hook eye. This is a nasty place to snap your thread. So let's get over finishing there. Just another one. Cut off tying thread. There's that weird fiber there. So here you can see what I mean. This fly isn't quite as streamlined and pretty. I bet you could fish it like this, but I want it a tiny tad prettier, so I'll just be needing a little bit of holy water. Okay, so what I like to do is to put a drop of UV resin on my finger, just a little bit, and then work it into fly here, just in front, because this will make it a whole lot easier afterwards to trim the fly and get the eyes on and all that. So with that on, grab your lamp and then just pull these fibers back and have a look at the profile. When you're satisfied, just hit it with your lamp. Like this. And now you can see the head there is a whole lot prettier, if you ask me. And now comes the hard part. I prefer to take the fly out of the vise and trim it in my hands like this over my waste basket here on the table, but that way you guys can see it, so I will do my best to trim this fly in the vise. So please bear with me if I mess it up just a tiny bit. And the trick is to kind of start small cuts, don't overdo it, and then just work your way into the materials. And then just always look how you're doing. And the only thing you shouldn't be cutting off is the two tails you tied in at the start. So that's what I'm aiming for. You almost see them here if I pull this a little bit apart. So all of this needs to go. I do have to turn the fly a little bit here, but there you can see it really nice. You kind of want this pointy shape, slim on the sides. Slowly getting there. Now this is also a very durable fly, so I know a lot of you guys don't like to use all too much time when tying. You wanna spend more time at the water and not at the vise, but it's winter here, and although I do enjoy winter fishing, some places aren't fishable during winter, so now is the perfect time to stay inside and keep warm, nice and cozy, and tie out some flies. It doesn't have to be fast ties always, I think, if you enjoy tying flies. I think my scissors need a little bit of oil. Good thing I have a few more. I am really making a mess here on my table. But it is looking super nice though, this fly. Coming to an end here. One thing you can do is to kind of flick the hook like this, and that will help the fibers stand out more, so you can trim it because you want this fly to keep its shape even when you're casting. So that's one way there to mimic that casting back and forth. So this fly will keep its shape at all times. You can see it really well. I might need to take this fly out of the vise anyways. Because I want to kind of see if I can hold it up like this. Trim it a little bit underneath here as well. Just this weird fiber looking out. Let me get that back into the vise there. At some point you really need to stop snipping because there won't be much fly left to trim. So I think this will do, at least for the sake of the length of this video. So once you are, I could trim this forever. So once you're satisfied, get some more UV resin. Put a drop on your finger. Do the same trick once again, just to keep this head nice and secure. And if you have a few stray fibers here and there, this is one way to clean that up. like that. Let's get on some ice. The ones I'm using here are from Pro Sport Fisher. Pro Flexi Ice, they're called, and they are these little flat ice on a piece of paper, 3D printed. And I really like these because they are flat, so the head won't get too choppy. Like it would with these pre-made 3D ice. You kind of have a lump on top of them. Get that eye on there. And the beauty of, you gotta just love UV resin because you have all the time in the world to make everything just the way you want it. And when you're satisfied, just zap that with your lamp, have a little drink. Let's get the other side. Drop on there. Here we go. And then I just want to put a tiny layer on these eyes to make sure that they don't fall off during casting or when a fish grabs this fly, because it most certainly will. That is a guarantee. Deadly little baitfish minnow pattern this is. Just make a small head here, not too much. I don't want to ruin the aesthetics of this fly with a bulky UV resin head. So get these kind of annoying fibers out of the way there. Cure the rest of the fly. And now you could basically fish this fly as it is, but I kind of want to decorate it a little bit with marker. So I don't know, let's give this one some spots. Along the side here. Just for the fun of it. Same thing on the other side. And then just a little bit to connect these like that. Just that in a little bit. A little bit on the top here as well. To kind of transfer that pattern all the way around. There we go. That is looking pretty deadly to me. My side got a lot better than the side facing you, but I'm pretty sure the fish won't mind that. So here you have the Nacho Heredero inspired minnow using sculpting flash fiber. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I forgot to put the lid on this, and now I'm sitting like this under the table, right? So I'm just kind of paining my hands. Let me get a lid on that. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure you do that. Hit the bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Maybe hit the thumbs up, because that will really help my channel and the whole YouTube algorithm. So do all of the things, and I will see you guys next week.